Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk to you guys about some crazy stuff that I saw while I was in jail. I'm sharing this with you because it's crazy and you never want to end up in there. So do your best to not go to jail. Watch who you hang out with. You are the company you keep, for real, because when it comes to the police, they'll take everybody to jail. They don't care. Do your best to stay out of there. I've been to a total of 4 jails in 2 different states. The tablets in jail, that was crazy for me to see. People would fight and argue over it. They would want to keep it longer, and I don't know, y'all. It was just always drama and fights in there. Some of the craziest stuff I saw was girls with the coffee. Coffee was like freaking gold in jail. Girls were putting it in their nose. They were doing like all kinds of crazy stuff, you guys. They would trade stuff. They would trade medication, which is crazy. People were just doing all kinds of stuff. Someone snuck ice in, and I've shared the story, but I haven't shared the story. Let me tell you guys, this, I don't know how she got it in there. I just know, like, most of the pod, like most of the girls in the jail and the pod we were in, the pod is the room. Most of them did some of it. I don't know how much she had, but it was enough, I guess. And girls were like tweaked out, walking around the pod. I mean, they were just like bobbing and weaving and sticking their heads in the cell. Like, hey, do you have this? Hey, do you have that? Can I borrow this? Can I borrow that? It was me and I think it was 2 or 3 other girls. And my bunkie was one of them at the time. This was in one of the Georgia jails. This is when I had made the decision to stay clean. I didn't want to go back to that lifestyle, so I didn't want to mess with it in jail. Plus, in my mind, I'm like, I'm an addict. I'm thinking there's no way it's enough to like be worth it anyways. And then what if they drug test everybody? So no, I wasn't getting involved in all that. I wanted to get out of jail. I wanted my freedom. So on top of staying clean. So me and a couple of the other girls went into our cell, and we stayed in our cell and just talked and tried to stay away from the whole situation. It was the first time I was clean and had been around somebody that was using. So, and I was in jail when it happened. So I was just like, this is weird. For me, it was like, it was weird. I didn't know how, of course it's triggering, but it was very weird. So, and no, I'm not judging. I'm just saying the feelings that I felt the first time seeing someone else, seeing what I looked like. It was just, it was, I don't know how to describe it. I was just like, oh my gosh. And then it hit me like, I don't want to go back to that. I don't want to do that. That doesn't even look fun. What was I thinking? So I was proud of myself and the girls that were in there with me. We had self-control. We let those girls do their thing. I don't know if they ever got in trouble for that or not. I don't know if they found out who did it. Didn't know, didn't care. I stayed out of it. Yeah, that was the craziest thing. And then girls trading meds. They were doing stuff like mental health meds. Mental health meds that if you need them, they work for you the way they're supposed to. But if you don't need them, they don't work the same. So there was meds that, you know, people were taking to sleep or because of their anxiety. I know I had tried to get help with my anxiety. I went to see the mental health doctor while I was in there, the nurse, whatever. And they just told me, well, it's normal. It's normal to have anxiety. You're in jail. I'm like, okay, I am in early recovery with no help with meds. And I'm like, dang, y'all aren't going to like even try to diagnose me. Nothing. You're not even going to, nothing. Just whatever. So yeah, that does happen too. People that need meds don't get them. People that don't need them get them. It's just, it's crazy. Making little cocktails with their meds. It was just crazy stuff, y'all. I just didn't think I would see in jail because it's jail. Like, you think when you're in jail, that kind of stuff is just not allowed. You'll never see it. Or like drugs, you'll never see it because you're in jail. But then you go to jail and it's worse in jail than it is out on the streets. That's what's crazy. I never saw with my own 2 eyes a CO like bring in drugs, but I've always heard that that's how they get in there. That's one way. And of course, you know, people stuffing them, suitcasing them is what we called it. You suitcase it and bring it in, which nowadays a lot of jails have body scanners. So This is another thing that I learned too. The body scanners, they're supposed to like scan through your clothes and stuff to see if you're hiding anything in your bra, whatever. So some of the girls when I was in jail said that they were hiding drugs in their pads. And I'm pretty sure they got caught doing this. So like, it's not even a thing anymore because of this. There's no way that they're still able to do that with those scanners like that. There's no freaking way. Well, working at the dog pound, that was kind of crazy. It was kind of scary. I know a lot of people were saying, oh, that would be so much fun, but it really wasn't, because you didn't get to like play with the nice dogs, because at the dog pound, there's a lot of strays. There's mean dogs too. They literally had signs up saying to like beware of the dog, and there was like levels for the dogs. The meanest dogs, they had different signs up, so that way we knew before we went to the cage to clean it what we were, you know, what we were walking into, which is still was scary because you didn't know if this dog was going to bite you or not. And we would have to pull the dogs out, chain them up, and then we didn't get to like walk them or anything. We didn't get to do anything. I felt bad because I'm looking at these dogs, and dogs in a dog pound are like people in jail. That's how they're treated, the same way. And it's so sad because it's just sad. It's the same as like a homeless person going to jail and getting treated like crap because they're in jail, but they're there because they're homeless. That's what the dogs are. The dogs are just homeless dogs, and they put them in doggy jail. Chain the dogs up and go in, and we would clean I about called it a cell. We would clean the cage out, and then we would put the dogs back in, and then that was it. And the cages were very dirty. It was a big mess in there every time we went. That was crazy for me, trying to deal with dogs and not knowing if they were going to bite me. People do get bitten by them. You know, I wish it would have been like this nice, fun experience, but, you know, of course they're going to send us in and not care because you're in jail. Seeing people sneaking, for the first time, seeing someone sneak contraband, which could be anything. The jails I've been to, it's anything that you use other than its original form or use, whatever. So if you take a pen and you take it apart and use it as a straw, then that's contraband, which you could easily do that. Seeing someone go and steal a glove for the first time, you're like, it's a glove. What the heck are you going to do with a glove? There's a lot of things you can do with a glove. And yes, those kind of things happen in jail too. And that's crazy that some women, I mean, they just have no shame because they've been in there for so long. They don't care. And you're just another person that, especially if they're in there, they've been in there a while, or I'm sure prison's even more open because if you have life in prison, you're not going to care about some girl that's going to be in and out of here, and you probably won't even remember her name in a year. People are more open there. I mean, you don't have a choice. You have to go to the bathroom in front of everyone, which that is a whole nother thing. That was crazy too, especially when you're coming off of drugs, having to run to the toilet, whether it's coming up or going out in front of somebody, or if you're on lockdown or it's the middle of the night. Like, it's very humbling, very humbling. It's very embarrassing. Strip searches, those are very humbling, very embarrassing. I pray I never go through that, and I do not wish any of that on my worst enemy. That's why all these people that judge people for going to jail, you have no idea what people go through when they go in there. You have never been so humbled in your life, okay? And yes, that's why I am grateful for the things that I have, because I've been homeless, I've been in jail, I've been without those things. I know how it is. The relationships, of course, that stuff was just, it was too much. People were always arguing, always fighting. Don't flirt with, don't talk to, don't do this, don't do that. When I tell you I stayed in my lane, I stayed in my lane. I mind my business. I was always the silly, goofy girl singing, whatever, trying to pass the time because I just wanted to get out of there. And when I was in there, every single time I was in there, I never knew when I was getting out. I never had like an exact day. Hey, this is your release day. I never knew. So I was always sitting in limbo, and sitting in there not knowing is worse than anything. So you learn to pass the time because you can't do anything else. You will drive yourself crazy. Commissary night, seeing people, how excited it is on commissary night, but then when you don't get commissary and you finally get it, it's like, you know, it's like when you get your first car. It's like that kind of excitement. I never saw like COs and inmates doing stuff. I never saw anything like that. Now, I used to see girls and guys trying to like hook up, literally walking past each other down the hallways, or like in the holding cell, people are trying to give their inmate numbers, and I don't know, that was crazy. The sugar daddies in jail, that was crazy. That's a whole nother story. Or let's see, girls were, I've talked about this, dating through the toilets, and then one girl would have a boyfriend, and that boyfriend would hook her up with a friend. You wouldn't know what he looked like. Either be writing to him or talking through the toilets. It still wasn't fun. It was very traumatic. Everything was traumatic. It's like your stress levels are on 1,000,000 the whole time you're there, because at any moment, anything can happen. You're literally in there with people from the streets. Like, none of us had filters. We did not care. It's not, they do not rehabilitate you in jail. You are just willy-nilly in there and waiting to get out. Okay? If anything, it's a wake-up call to you, because you're sitting still away from your normal environment. So now you're out of your comfort zone, and you get to see, really see clearly, especially if you're clean. You get to see clearly, you know, how you are. You get to see, okay, I'm in jail, man. Some people realize this. It took me a few times before I'm like, okay, this is not what I want. I don't want to keep doing this. This is not fun. This is torture. I'm torturing myself. I've got to get help. Oh my gosh. Let me tell you, here's a crazy story. So when I got extradited from Tennessee to Georgia, the officer, I think it was 2 officers, took like 3 of us girls. One of them, when we got to the Georgia jail, you know, they had to walk us in, sit with us until, you know, they scanned us and whatever, fingerprint, all that stuff. And while we're sitting there, tell me why the officer that went in with me, tell me why he got my information. He wanted to get in touch with me after I got out of jail. Of course, I gave it to him at the time, because I thought it was going to get me out of trouble. And no, I never talked to him. I didn't even have the same information when I got out of jail. Y'all know that. I started completely over. But yeah, they have no shame. They hit on the girls too. They give you all these false promises, and I'll give you money and help you when you get out. BS. Just because they're cops or COs or whatever does not make them any better than the inmates that they're handcuffed walking into the jail. They're doing the same stuff. They just haven't gotten caught. Same with an officer off duty going out to have a couple of drinks and driving home. That's illegal, because you're over the limit. A few drinks, couple drinks could make you over the limit, which is illegal to drive home. And they do it. So before anyone thinks they are better than anyone, again, it doesn't matter the profession, it doesn't matter the person. People do things, they just haven't gotten caught. So let's just all stop judging each other and realize that we've all done things, and there are people out there that are still doing things that think they're better than, and they don't even know what they're doing is illegal. That's the crazy part. I've talked about this, because they don't teach us what's legal and illegal. Like, we think we know, but we don't know, and it's for a reason, so they can take us to jail and make money off of us. Do your best to stay out of jail. Do your best to just be a better person. Do something nice for somebody. You know, even if it's like, hey, you look nice today. I hope you have a good day. Hold the door open for somebody. There's things nice you can do for people that doesn't cost any money, you know? Just do something nice today, you guys. And whatever you do, don't give up. Don't give up. I'm going to say this every day for the rest of my life. Don't give up.